Hey guys, it's Callie and welcome to the Actors Lifestyle YouTube channel. Today we are talking about how to move to New York City as an actor. Woo! We are in my bedroom today because the lighting is a little bit better than it was in front of my desk. So, welcome to my room. So the reason I'm making this video is because I moved to the city in 2016, right after I graduated college. I just aged myself.
What are they selling?
But the first couple of months that I was here, I was so depressed because I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing, how to take care of myself. And I was just laying in bed all day eating a giant bag of Sour Patch watermelons instead of feeding myself. It was kind of the darkest moments of my life. So I'm making this video so that hopefully you can not feel as horrible as I did when I first moved. So let's get into it. So the three topics that I'm going to be covering in today's video are acting, how to accomplish your acting goals. Number 2 is health, how to stay mentally healthy. Remember, I'm not a mental health professional. This is just some things that I did and things that I've learned how to do since then that have helped me a lot. And number 3 is survival jobs, how to get a job, where to get a job, what to do. Let's go. Also, I have made a PDF that accompanies this video, NYC Survival Guide for Actors, that you can go ahead and check out down in the description below to follow along, keep yourself on track. Now for each section, I'm gonna do overview and pitfalls. So we're gonna talk about basically a rundown of everything and then stuff to avoid. All right. Number 1, acting. So you are going to want to sign up for these following casting profile websites: actorsaccess.com, backstage.com, and castingnetworks.com. I typically use Actors Access the most, and I find that there are the most amount of opportunities and also the most legit opportunities on Actors Access. So if you're gonna pick one to spend your money on, I would say Actors Access, although it does get pretty expensive because you do have to pay to upload video, which is the worst, but it is cheaper a month than Backstage, which is over $100 a year. But sometimes Backstage can be really worth it. I have booked things on Backstage, but I have also found the most creepy opportunities on Backstage also. So you just have to be careful. And Casting Networks is good for commercials, and also it's good to have profiles there so that other casting professionals, casting directors can find you. All right, so that's casting profile websites. You're gonna scroll through those every day, you're gonna get them sent to your email, and you're gonna apply for what sounds good to you. Next, I want to talk about in-person auditions. So the place that you're going to be able to find the most in-person auditions is playbill.com. And playbill.com really is the holy grail because not only does she give you tour auditions, Broadway auditions, but she's also going to give you survival job postings. So playbill.com, have that bookmarked on your computer, okay? So when you're laying at home and you don't know what to do, just go through playbill.com. BroadwayWorld.com will also post about auditions and have Broadway news and stuff like that, so make sure to go to that one. Now, let's talk about open calls, EPAs, ECCs, what they are, and how to make the most out of them. EPAs stand for Equity Principal Auditions. ECC stands for Equity Chorus Call Auditions. Now, the chorus call auditions are more so for singers and dancers. You have a big singing call, a big dance call, that kind of thing. And then EPAs, I think, are more so for straight actors. You do monologues and you sing for those as well. Equity shows are required to hold these equity open call auditions as a part of the union requirements. So a lot of the times, some of the times, the roles that you're going to be auditioning for have already been cast. But that's okay because a lot of times they are looking for understudies, and you do want to get known by these casting directors because oftentimes they're the big, huge casting directors that you want to have relationships with that cast the stuff that you want to be in. So they are worth it to go to, even if you are non-union. And being non-union, it is hard for these auditions because you do have to go super early before the building even opens, put your name on an unofficial list, and wait in line till the building opens, and then sometimes wait all day to see if there's an opening. The way it works is equity members sign up online, and only a certain amount of appointments get filled online, and they save a certain amount of appointments for walk-ins. So equity members get the first shot at these walk-ins. Then After those walk-ins are filled, then equity members become alternates. And then after the alternate list has gone through, then is EMC, which kind of, I'll talk about maybe in a different video, but EMC is equity membership candidate. So that's somebody who has accrued equity points, but is not equity yet. And then after the EMC people get seen, then non-union gets seen. So I know it sounds a little bit like, what's the point? But a lot of times, especially in these bigger auditions, people do get seen, non-union does get seen, and it is worth it to go to flex your audition muscles and to meet people and meet these casting directors. So that's kind of my overview on equity open call auditions. Moving on. Okay, the next thing you're gonna wanna focus on as an actor is getting into class. I would definitely recommend taking some sort of acting class, some sort of singing class, and some sort of dancing class, if you can, every single month. Acting classes, I think, typically run around 6 weeks, so you can find a good 6-week class to get into. Voice lessons in the city are so expensive, so sometimes I would have to go like every other week or even once a month to voice lessons, but it is helpful to just go, even if it's a master class or whatever it is. And then dance class, take as many as you can, as often as you can, and do what feels good, you know? You don't have to go to Broadway Dance Center or Steps or those big places where the energy is kind of competitive. Here's a secret tip for some studios that don't have that energy. Mark Morris in Brooklyn is a really awesome studio with all sorts of classes, musical theater, ballet, tap, where it's just fun, you know, and nobody's like trying to, the energy is a little bit, and the culture is a little bit more laid back. And Brooklyn Ballet, I just started taking ballet there and I love it. They have a fundamentals class, which is so wonderful. I really, really love it there. So definitely check out those ones if you're not trying to go have a super competitive environment. Choose the experience that you want to choose. For classes in general, searching for studios online is helpful. What I've learned is before you actually sign up and spend, you know, upwards of $600, $700 for a class, audit the class, because you never know if the class is going to be something that you actually want and if the techniques and pedagogy is something that you are comfortable with. Word of mouth is really, really super essential when it comes to finding the right classes that you want to take. So ask your friends that are already there in the city and say, what types of classes have you taken that you super recommend, versus trying to find classes on your own and maybe ending up in a situation that you might have wasted your money on. Hopefully not, but it does happen. Next, for acting, this kind of goes into what I was just saying about word of mouth, and that's relationship building. So find events that you would like to go to, like film festivals or master classes or workshops. Actors Connection is a really great one. You do have to pay to meet people, but gets you getting relationships with agents and casting directors. And then meet up with your friends, you know, have coffee with your friends as much as you possibly can, and just try to build your network. Spending intentional time on building your network is going to help you get ahead faster than going to 1,000 EPAs and ECCs. So overview: casting websites and open calls, going to class, and building relationships. Pitfalls to avoid: if you're looking at a breakdown for a, you know, short film or whatever the heck, and it feels a little sus, just say no. Like, not all experiences are worth experiencing. It's just not worth it to get into some of these situations. It's just really not. Pitfalls with open calls: you do not have to go to every single one. You can't afford to go to every single one. It's okay. Just go to as many as you can and prioritize your health and your rest and your well-being. But do push yourself to go, but not at the detriment of your health. Relationship building: this also goes back to trusting your gut. If somebody's giving you the heebie-jeebies or somebody's inviting you to an inappropriate location, we say no. It's not worth it to get signed or to be in a show. It's not worth it. Trust me. So that's kind of an overview of how to focus on your acting whenever you move to New York City. And now let's focus on how to stay healthy when you're here. So one of the most important things, I think, is going outside. Get out of your room, go take a walk, go to a museum, go to the High Line, go to the park, take yourself on dates, and get out of your bedroom. Trust me, you're not going to want to, but putting on a nice outfit, feeling cute, feeling good, going out and trying the Swedish candy store or, you know, this other viral matcha place or whatever is gonna be worth it, and it's gonna give you so much dopamine. The sun is your friend. Number 2 is grocery shopping. Grocery shopping for me was really, really hard when I first moved here because grocery stores just kind of feel different in the city than they do like where I grew up. Things are higher up, the aisles are narrower, people are grumpier, and getting there is really hard to motivate for. So my advice for you for grocery shopping is to make a list and to always get yourself a treat. You could make a grocery store playlist if you're into music. Put it on your calendar if that's something that works for you. Try to go every single week. Same with laundry. Laundry is going to be a whole new thing for you to have to go to a laundromat and not be able to, you know, do laundry in your apartment or do laundry in your building. It's a whole new ball game. But it's okay to ask for help. People in New York, you know, they have their front because they don't want to get messed with. But once you ask somebody a question or you ask somebody for help, they will always be so gracious and so generous with their advice to help you with whatever you need. I know it's scary as an individual to come and be in a completely new environment and try to nourish yourself. It's really, really hard. Also, typically in most neighborhoods, there's going to be more than one grocery store. So try a couple different ones and ask your friends in your neighborhood which grocery stores they go to. There's always a Trader Joe's within subway distance. If you have the money for Whole Foods, there's always a Whole Foods within subway distance. And just do what works for you. You know, going to the grocery store is really super important, and make sure that you're prioritizing it. Another thing to prioritize is seeing friends. I know we talked about that a little bit in the last chapter, but really try to be meeting up with somebody at least once a week to keep you on track and to keep you feeling less isolated. Even if it's like, come over and let's watch a movie in my bed, or I'll come over and watch a movie in your bed, or we'll meet up for coffee right before we have to go to work, or whatever it is. Even me being here, you know, 8 years now, meeting up with somebody else, especially somebody else who's a performer, is so valuable to just making you feel less alone and like completely reinvigorating your motivation and your passion for what it is that you want to do. And the last thing for health is having your own artistic projects and reading books. I feel like reading a book is an artistic project on its own. You know what I mean? It's something you have to give energy and time towards. When I first moved here, I literally wrote a like 13,000 word novella about a dream that I had, and it kept me motivated. It kept me moving. I made video projects that I posted on Vimeo. I met with other actors and put on stuff together, like we made our own work. Having your own artistic projects is so crucial because you don't just want to be waiting for somebody else to give you an opportunity. And whenever you're working on your own stuff, it makes you feel valued as an artist and as a performer. You know, make tap dancing videos in the studio, create self-tape videos to put on your YouTube channel. It's really important to be making your own work, especially when you first get here. It'll help you solidify your place and ground yourself in your new environment. Also, reading books. I am a self-help book hoe. I'll say it. I am. I'm always reading self-help books. I will put a book recommendation list in the PDF that accompanies this video so that you can check it out there and get some book recommendations. And no, it's not just the artist way, I promise you. All right, so that makes up our health section. Now let's go for overviews and pitfalls. So overview. Getting outside, grocery shopping, seeing friends, having your own artistic projects, and reading books. Pitfalls to avoid, definitely if you find yourself 2-3 days without going outside, that's a clue. That's a clue for you to get out. If you're meeting up with a friend that doesn't necessarily make you feel good, you don't have to meet up with that friend anymore. It's not worth it. Sometimes it's okay to order food. Sometimes you just need to order Chinese or Thai food or whatever it is to make you feel better so that you can eat. Eating is the priority. How you get that food is less of a priority, in my opinion. And I think that's it for that section. So let's move on now to talk about survival jobs. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go through a list of a bunch of different survival jobs that I've done or that friends have done and that kind of actors swear by. So number 1, temping or catering. Number 2, food service. We all know waiting tables sucks, but it really does get you, I think, the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Retail, I've done it. I don't know that I would necessarily recommend it because the wages are so low but takes up so much of your time. But if it works for you, it works for you. Front desk or front of house. Front desk at like Pilates studio, yoga studio, or even at one of the main rehearsal studio places like Pearl Studios or Ripley Greer are great. Front of house, which is kind of like box office, reception, kind of front desk type of duties. The hours are a lot of evenings on the weekends and stuff, so if I do book something, I can't do that job at the same time. Another thing with that is you can also sell merch at theaters. Speaking of theaters, theater internships, which you can also find out about on playbill.com, working at any one of these theaters to learn about production, development, education. Now these jobs are definitely going to be taking up more of your time. If you do them right when you move, it's going to like explode your network. And then there's also self-employment and freelancing. If there's a skill that you already have, go ahead and start developing it now. Like if you are a great photographer, go ahead and start building an Instagram portfolio with photos that you've taken of people so that you can start a headshot business when you get here, or a portrait business, or dance photography, something like that. If you're really into social media, building up a portfolio of social media accounts that you've grown, or your own account, that kind of thing, to be able to market that. I have been a freelancer for many, many years, and it is very, very, very difficult. I will say that the survival job aspect of living here, I think, is the worst. Also, this is the most expensive city in the country. I'm pretty sure rent here is no joke. You probably will be having to work 2 or 3 jobs, and that's just how it is. And so the sooner you can get those jobs solidified, the better. Prioritizing flexibility is really important, and also prioritizing that like other people that work there are also performers, so that way the culture's kind of there and y'all can cover for each other and support each other. Pitfalls for survival jobs. There's going to be a challenge with every single job, and not one single job is going to work for everybody. You just kind of have to choose what challenge is worth it to you. And that's my advice for survival jobs. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you got a lot out of it and you're feeling more confident about moving here as an actor. Please check out my free PDF on surviving in the city as an actor. Comment down below if you have any suggestions of videos that you'd like to see me talk about. I'm an actor, performer. I have over 20 years of experience. I've lived in New York City for the past 8 years. I've done off-Broadway theater, international, regional theater, and all sorts of stuff. So I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!